All right. Michael. He's still out. He's still unconscious down here, folks. Welcome to the 31 on 31, and we are doing 31 horror remakes, ranked from worst to best. And I did a top 10 horror remakes a while ago, a couple of years ago. It has changed since then. I've watched a few more movies. I think I've done 2 lists. I think it's changed quite a bit. My top 10 at least. So let's go ahead without further ado and start at number 31. The worst horror remake that I own, that probably ever, is Slumber Party Massacre remake. This movie is so bad, it offends me as a man because of how much they shit on men in this. This is basically somebody saw the Blumhouse Black Christmas remake and said, hey, let's do that. And this just, it's rated R. It's not rated, unrated, whatever. There's these kills, but the whole, let's rise up as women and fight this guy. And then the whole twist with the mom just doesn't work. And it's a piece of shit. So there you go. Speaking of pieces of shit, Leprechaun Origins is number 30. And I never liked this movie. They built this whole thing up. Hornswoggle is going to be the leprechaun, and then he's in some weird costume. It's not leprechaun. It looks more like a chupacabra thing. It just, no. And it's dull. Boring. No. Okay, so the next 4 technically have something in common. This is Cabin Fever remake. Number 29. It's basically shot for shot, but done more seriously and some gore turned up. But the original was more entertaining. Just makes it more boring and more serious, and there's more gore, but it doesn't make it better. And it's the same script, just redone, basically. And as is the case for number 28, Psycho, which was done on purpose by Gus Van Sant to see if he could recreate it. You did it. Not sure how good it is, but it's pretty much shot for shot, except for, the whole Vince Vaughn masturbation scene, and Vince Vaughn not being as good as actor as Anthony Perkins, but And if you see the theme here, then you won't be surprised when number 27 is The Omen. Also shot for shot. Still not as good. I do think that Mia Farrow was a little more freakier as Mrs. Baylock, but other than that, it's shot for shot. It's nothing new. And then we have this one, which you're probably surprised is not that far down. It's at number 26, and that's Rob Zombie's Halloween. The first half of this movie can kiss my ass. And then it gets intriguing when you get the part with Loomis talking to Michael, but it doesn't last that long. And then it's just a straight remake of the original, which is the theme of this. But what pushed this above the others is they actually tried to do something a little bit different with the beginning of this. But it's Rob Zombified, so who cares? Number 25 is Sorority Row. And my most recent rewatch of this just didn't go very well. It's nothing to do with women. I don't know, the whole thing, whole reveal who the killer is. I did it so we can be together and we can hide the secret. And then they set up a sequel that never happened. And it's just, meh. Every time I rewatch this, it gets worse and worse for me. But, Number 24 is the Hitcher remake. And after watching and really liking the original, this seems like something they'd make today. Where, hey, we have the Hitcher, but our male main hero is going to be killed off halfway through, and the girlfriend is going to be the killer because female empowerment, and that's what it feels like. Like, I don't know. It feels like somebody watched the original and the sequel and pushed them together, and yes, what we got. Sean Bean is good, but he's nowhere the John Ryder that Rutger Hauer could be. And another one that's probably surprised is as high is number 23, Nightmare on Elm Street remake. And I like Jackie Earl Haley as Freddy Krueger. There's some lines, why are you screaming? I haven't even cut you yet. But I watched this movie, and pretty much when Chris dies is where I fall off. Because Rooney Mara doesn't give a shit. She even said so that she didn't care about this movie was getting a paycheck. She slammed on horror movies. She hated on them, and that makes watching this movie even more. Katie Cassidy is a compelling lead, but when she gets Tina'd partway through the film, you gotta follow Rooney Mara as Nancy, and she sucks. She's not putting any effort in her performance, and it's not worth watching. Number 22 is the Fog remake. I've always had sort of a, what is that word I'm looking for? An affection for this, I guess you could say. Probably mostly just because Tom Welling is in this. It's fine, but the ending, I haven't watched the original. The CGI effects do not work. The ending where it's revealed that she was the wife the whole time, I don't know, and it just doesn't work for me. The original is better, of course. Where am I at here? 21, Night of the Demons. I do like this movie, but on my recent rewatch when I did the review like last year or something, it did, this was a little too contrived, and like it works, but it's very 2000s horror where they were just getting out of doing Scream and getting to their own thing, but there's still some hints of Scream in this, talking about certain things, and yeah, some of the kills are pretty cool, but I don't know. It's decent, but it's not one I'm going back, which I would have stood up and put this in my top 10 at one point, but not anymore. Just above that, surprisingly for me, going through this list, is number 20, Flatliners, which I did like a little bit better on a rewatch, but it's still nothing to write home about. I just don't get the reason why they keep doing this. Like, it gives them a rush, maybe. It's like an addiction, but like, I don't know, you kill off Ellen Page partway through it, and you just gotta follow the others. And it's about getting to accept the bad things they had done, like getting something like that. I don't know. It just doesn't work. And number 19 is When a Stranger Calls remake, which is in this collection here. It's right here. And basically what they did, they took the opening of the original and stretched it over the 90 minutes. And it works. There's great tension, but it does feel like it's stretched. Like, there's a lot of things that could have happened in this. It's basically she's at one place for most of the movie, and it's very stretched out. They don't go anywhere else. They don't do anything. There's nothing. And it's very drawn out, and you can tell that they were out of stuff to do. It was very much, Scream came out, hey, there's that line in that movie, calling from inside the house, Black Christmas did it first, I think, but as far as I know. But I think it's decent. Number 18 is the Poltergeist remake. I think the biggest problem with this one is that it's just not scary. It's pretty much shot for shot with some, but there are more changes in this than the ones that I was breaking with shot ones. Enough to push it above the others. But Sam Rockwell, he's a funny guy. He's not serious. Craig T. Nelson, however, was very serious in his delivery. How you find out that the bodies are still underneath is just matter of fact, but yeah. Number 17 is Pet Sematary remake. I think this is pretty good. John Lithgow is great. Jason Clarke is pretty good, but it's the ending that always gets me. Watching this, I'm like, okay, this is a decent remake. It does the stuff there. And if you're wondering, hey, you have this in here, but not It. Well, the It remake is technically 2 movies, and I put together, I don't know, I just didn't count it. But I did count this one, even though it's not technically a remake of that. It's readaptation of the book. I needed 31, okay? But, yeah. The ending where Gage is pretty much fucked. He becomes a zombie thing instead of, well, he does in the original, doesn't he? Or doesn't he? He gets attacked at the end, assuming he dies or something. I don't know. But it's fine for what it is. Okay, number 16 is Prom Night. And I know it's PG-13 was the unrated version here, but and I know that a lot of people say the original is better. I don't think. I think the original was boring. I think this is better. Sure, there's problems with it, but I enjoy it. I think Brittany Snow is pretty good. Yes, they're all bland 2000 caricatures of these people, but Idris Elba is wasted. But it's something I enjoy to watch from time to time. Just to throw back, relax. Okay. Ironically, and I did not do this on purpose, number 15 is Fright Night, the remake. I enjoyed this a lot on my recent watch of it. My very first watch. I think David Tennant's pretty good, but the original is better, I'll give it that. There's a lot of things that they just recreate that aren't as good as the original. CGI makes the effect with her even worse, but I think Colin Farrell, and I'm not a big fan of Colin Farrell, I think does a pretty good job, but he doesn't have the charisma of Chris Sarandon. Chris Sarandon is a very good actor in the original Fright Night, and Prince Humperdinck, and in Child's Play, he's just fantastic. In this is still pretty good. Number 14 is The Last House on the Left remake. I've never seen the original, but this movie is really good. I am ashamed to put it down this low, but I think it works. And especially the part when Tony Goldwyn and Monica Potter, they realize their daughter was happening. The house guests are the ones that attacked and raped and hurt the daughter, so they go on revenge, and it's just kick-ass from that point on, and it's fantastic. Number 13 is House of Wax, which is a recent review and rewatch for me. And I enjoy this movie. I think it's an underrated movie. People shit all over this movie, and I think it's an underrated horror flick, underrated remake, and deserves more recognition. I think the villains are pretty good, although their backstory is a little messy. They don't explain it too much. And then that twist at the end. Oh, there's a third brother. And the turning people into wax kind of stops after Wade. And they try to do it with Dalton. And later with... Oh, yeah, I need to correct something. It wasn't Dalton's head that was in the vice. It was Robert Richard's head. I didn't realize that. Number 12 is Amityville Horror. Remake, and I do like this better than the original, or maybe I didn't. Maybe I thought the original was better. I don't remember, but I do think it's decent. I think Ryan Reynolds and his abs do a pretty good job in this movie. I think there's a lot of effective scares. I think it's not bad. Number 11 is The Wrong Turn remake, and yeah, this doesn't exactly scream Wrong Turn to me, but I think it's effective. I don't think they needed to put in all the politics that they did, but I think it still works. The ending is still kind of confusing, but it's not bad. So here we are in the top 10 of my 31 on 31. And number 10 is actually, it's really weird that it's up this high, but it's actually a first watch. The first two are first watches, actually, 9 and 10. Our first watches. And number 10 is going to be the Willard remake. I've never seen the original, but I think Crispin Glover gives a great performance. The idea of rats just attacking people is horrifying. And, oh, I'm sorry, he's not Willard. He's Clark. Clark. And he's just, in the ending, Jesus, this was good. Number 9, the Night of the Living Dead remake, which I think is better than the original. I'm sorry. But I think it is. There's just more going on. Tom Savini. There's not much gore effects in this, though. But Tom Savini directed this. I think that the woman, Barbara, she gets more to do in this one. I think the acting is way better than the original. And you got Tony Todd playing Ben here, and that's always great. The ending, I think, is done better than the original. And yeah. Speaking of movies with better done endings, number 9 is My Bloody Valentine 3D, the remake. And yeah, the twist at the end, like with the original, with Axel, the reveal of Axel, it's just grab the mask. oh, it's Axel, and then we get a flashback to show the people at home why he did it. But other people don't get to know why he did it. Here, it's a weird twist where it's revealed that, what's his name? Harry Warden is like his brain shattered, and Harry Warden is somehow a consciousness inside of Tom's brain. I think it's a great twist. I don't like that it had to be Jensen Ackles, but to be honest, he does play a good villain. He's done a Supernatural before, so yeah. And number 7 is the Child's Play remake, and I don't get all the hate for this movie. I thought it was pretty good. Everybody's like, "Oh, this shits on the original. It's unfair to Don Mancini that they did this." Honestly, the way that Mancini is taking his franchise, I don't know, but this was actually a decent change. I liked this, okay? And I want a sequel to this. I don't know if you call it Child's Play 2 or Child's Play Chucky's Revenge or something like that, but I liked this, okay? And I think it worked very well. Number 6 is The Fly remake. David Cronenberg's The Fly, and I think this is far better than the original. It has better effects. It has a better cast. Although David Hedison was pretty good, and so does Al Hedison, and Vincent Price. You can't beat Vincent Price, but this is still pretty good. And that ending with the transformation, she's forced to shoot him, and it ends like that. It's a fantastic movie. And we have number 5. We're in the top 5 now. Number 5 is Dawn of the Dead, the Zack Snyder remake, which I think is the better remake of the 3. With Day of the Dead, I don't know. It'd probably be between Poltergeist and Pet Sematary, maybe. I don't know, but this I think is the best of the Dead remakes. The whole baby thing, people criticize it, is an interesting way to go. And I think that the fact that it's a group instead of just 3 people in the mall works better. It's great. I'm running out of time. Number 4 is Friday the 13th, a remake. And quite simply, I don't know why this movie never got a sequel. It deserves one. It's probably one of the best up there. It's in my top 5, at least, in the Friday the 13th. I think that the portrayal of Jason by, Derek Mears is fan-fucking-tastic. And I think the direction of Mark Nispel is good. The whole opening sequence is great. After that, it sucks. No, it doesn't. People back on Trent. He's supposed to be a douchebag, people. Get over yourselves. It's great. Number 3. Now you're going to see a discrepancy. There's been a change, usually in the top 10. So, number 3 is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which used to be my number 2. And I think this is great. I like it better than the original. I can rewatch it better than the original. Arlie Ermey is the man. I think that Andrew Benarski is a great Leatherface. And I like the whole feel, the whole grungy, dirty feel of this movie works. And it's also directed by the same person who did this, and they're right next to each other. So, it's great. Number 2, which used to be my number 1, is the Evil Dead remake. And I said this was the best remake ever done. And I'm kind of sad to have to let that go. If you know me, you probably already know what number 1 is. But I think this is great. It brings back the seriousness that the first one was trying to give. Well, the first one was still kind of hokey. Brings back the seriousness. You get a cameo by Ash in the post-credit. Poor Eric gets his ass handed to him. But there's great gore in here. There's great effects. The whole raining blood from the sky really works for me. And I love Jane Levy in this. She's a great lead. And the whole thing with her being a drug addict kind of works. They think she's tweaking out because she needs more of the drugs, but it's really something possessing her, and that, But number 1, and if you know me, you're not surprised because I think this is the greatest horror movie ever. John Carpenter's The Thing. What else can I say? It is the greatest horror movie ever made. I should have said this in my Halloween review when I said that I like Child's Play better than it, but I don't think that Child's Play is better than The Thing. I'm sorry. It is the greatest horror movie ever made. The whole thing with you don't know who's the thing and who's not a thing, and the paranoia setting in. And at the end, you don't know which one's a thing, which is not. My theory is they're both not the thing, but there's going to be that tension between them. Yeah, great effects by Rob Bottin, great score by Ennio Morricone, fantastic fucking film. It's absolutely my number one favorite remake. So there you go. That's my 31 out of 31 for this year, and I'm done. I have recorded for most of this month. I didn't want to. I was trying to get it done halfway through the month, but I got a week left. I'm just going to relax and do my own shit, watch some movies. I got a couple of Scotty tries to do, but those will just go in up whenever I feel like it. But yeah, so what are your thoughts on the 31? Let me know yours in the comments below. Maybe like your top 10 of these remakes in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one. Michael, are you going to get up? Michael. Whatever. Moving on to something I have to do. Let's see. What's on TV? Nothing. There's nothing on TV. Michael, are you finally moving over there? Looks like it.